The Against All Odds podcast, sponsored by Oak Forest Recovery.
Welcome to the Against All Odds podcast. I am your host, Rachel. We have co-host Hunter and RJ, and we have Renee Graziano in the building, Mob Wives Queen.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here today.
Excited.
Also sober queen, right?
Yeah, a few days from 1 year.
Woo!
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Should have tied myself down to the
I would have brought you up. We should have made you up a coin, a special coin or something,
Yes.
you know, and did a whole ceremony.
I don't think anyone tells you the first year is, whew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rough.
first few years it can be hard. You
rough.
know, you got a lot of emotions that you haven't dealt with in a long time. You know.
Yeah, all at once.
Yeah.
And menopause.
Ooh,
Ooh,
girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, if you can get through that, you can get through anything. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'll believe in on menopause a little bit longer.
Okay, so where should we start? I want to, I mean, obviously your upbringing and the life you've lived and grown up in was a lot for you. So maybe we can start with like how life was growing up.
I didn't think I was different.
Yeah.
What made me realize most parents went to work 9 to 5 and mine 9 to 5. And he'd be gone a couple days. Don't ask no questions. Trucks would roll up. We'd have every fur coat, everything you could ever imagine.
Classic mob wife attire.
Yeah, it was really something out of a movie.
Right.
My father was not abusive, but I will tell you, he enjoyed his lifestyle a little too much. But he married a woman who would sit, stay, bark, spin a ball on her nose if she could, and I don't say that to discredit her. She's just the greatest woman alive.
And that's your mom.
My mom,
Okay.
Veronica.
Yeah.
She has 3 daughters. Yeah. That act like boys. Definitely.
Where do you sit in the three?
In the middle.
In the middle. Okay.
In the middle. The older one tried to hang me. The little one tried to stab me. But I guess there's
Normal sister
bigger
things.
plans for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. My father and I would go crabbing, and it was just, I miss him terribly. I'm sorry I get like all choked
No,
up.
that's okay.
He's my king on earth, you know, but he always said to me, nobody's better than you, and you're not better than anyone else. Wasn't really fond of the drugs. Got to be clear on that. Tried everything possible to get rid of them, pay people off, legitimately pay people off, and thought it would work. And they were like, "No, Anthony, it doesn't go like that." Well, tie it to something. She'll figure it out. And he couldn't get it. He couldn't understand there was a hole missing. And I wasn't about to tell him the domestic violence that went on when he was away, because he would have been facing life. And I figured for me, I take that, and that would be my punishment. As long as my son don't drink, drug, and raise hands, I'll be okay. Not really, but I'll be okay.
So when did you start? So growing up, you thought things were normal until what point? Like at what point did you know what your dad was involved in and kind of like the family business and all of that?
Well, we were given anything and everything we wanted. So right there, we knew we were different. But I remember I went out to a club, and I was with a friend of my father's, and I was like, Teddy, he says my father drives a boat. He said, no, TG's
captain?
Yeah. I was like, my father doesn't drive a boat. Teddy, tell him right now. He goes, go home, Renee, go home. I went home and I told my father, he goes, Renee, sit down. Like, you have to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't anything more than that. But then I realized we were really different. And I no longer waited online.
Right.
Bye, best. bypassed. School was great. I mean, we had everything we could dream of. And then on weekends, we went and visited, my father.
Did you go to public school growing up?
No Catholic school.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did attempt to get into public private school, but I got thrown out.
Oh, for what?
Rolling my skirt up too short. Yeah. So I went to public, and he watched everything I did. Everything I did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with having 3 girls.
I mean, it was over the top. But if looking back, I would do it all over again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
All over again.
So was dad obviously with 3 girls was probably super protective of you guys, I would imagine, right? So was it hard? When did you start, I don't know, being a little mischievous?
Oh, 13.
Okay. And was drugs and drinking involved then, or?
Drinking, drugs, sex, 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very advanced. My 2 sisters, prudes. I just wanted to fit in. Anything I could do to fit in, I do. And I realized the power came with men. It wasn't drugs. It was men. And that's how that was my first drug, was a man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you grew up in the 70s?
Yes. I grew up.
What was that like growing up in the 70s, and like what was the drug scene like during those years when you were 13 beyond?
Okay, so I was born in 69. So by the
Okay, so you're like 80s, early 80s.
late 70s, early 80s, it was like mountains. Mountains.
Like mountains of cocaine.
It was weird. It was
Yeah.
very, very weird because people would just do a line and go about their day.
It was normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was normal. Very, very normal. Nobody was shaking in their shoes. Nobody was going to kill the next door neighbors. It was just a different drug.
No, it's when crack blew up in New York. That's when problems started, probably.
Yeah, we missed that one.
Yeah.
I liked the rich white girl.
I was just
Yeah.
going to ask you if you've ever done crack.
I smoked it once. Made my clothes smell. It was
You don't
terrible.
like it?
No,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
But the 80s was like the height of that in New York, and it was pretty crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, my father kept me sheltered, so I was allowed to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's about it. No Queens, no Bronx, nothing outside of Brooklyn and Staten Island.
Nothing
So-
outside of where he could keep tabs on you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And he always knew where I was. Always.
When was it that like New York came down like heavy on the mafia? When with Giuliani and all of that?
I would say after Gus Faraci was murdered, he obviously killed Everett Hatcher, who was a DEA agent. That's when like every mob car had a car. So if you came to my block, it's a cul-de-sac. There were like 32 cars on that block. And nobody went anywhere without them. So it was wild for a while. And then when they found him murdered, it calmed down. But there was always mob war going on. I was just blessed that it never touched my family.
Was that scary for you? Like once you knew what was going on, did you have this fear around it, or you kind of just like trusted that your dad was going to keep you guys safe and take care of everything?
We didn't fear it. We just knew, okay, let's not go out Sunday, or we'll pass on a Wednesday. But no.
Why Sunday and Wednesday?
Well, that's usually trouble. Yeah. But we knew, like, if the guy said don't come out, we knew not to go out.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't as bad as I think you see it in the movies.
Yeah.
Because those were men fighting for, business. Women and children just stayed home.
Right.
We had our own little life.
When drugs started to like really enter the scene, did you see any changes with how things operated with that?
Drugs changed the game for everyone. for everyone. And there were certain people that didn't want to touch drugs. And then there were people that said, hey, dope.
Yeah.
You got to be a dope, not touch dope. And those people ended up with children dying. Yeah, it's
The ones that got into the dope.
dope. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too sure about, I don't know much about like drugs, like heavy duty drugs, but I know cocaine played a very large presence. And I think weed
Yeah.
and Quaaludes.
Quaaludes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got to do one of
I
those.
think I don't think there was anything else really.
Yeah. I mean, and nothing like today, right? With all the fentanyl and
Yeah, I'm gonna think.
people
No.
dropping dead every day.
No, nothing like this.
Yeah.
Oh, there was dust.
Oh, PCP? Right?
that-
Dust is PCP,
PCP?
right? You like smoke it.
There was like a time in New York though when like Frank Johnson, I think that was his name, Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas.
He like took over New York with like heroin from Vietnam, like during that era, and a lot of people like died
American
from
Gangster.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people died in New York, especially from that. You know.
He's actually connected to Puff Daddy's father.
Wow,
Interesting.
very interesting.
Goes up the food chain
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
believe it. I believe it.
Wow.
A lot of money to be made.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And was the mob? Did you know if the mob was like also involved in a lot of drug moving at the same time?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. You guys were just kept out of it, right? It was everything on the, that the men were doing was kind of hush hush. It wasn't like a
Absolutely.
talked about thing.
I think at the beginning though, like the mafia was like real anti-drug.
Yes.
And it was more like extortion and like protection and stuff like that, and like little schemes where they could like make money off of stuff that wasn't actually killing people, you know, because they knew that there was like a lot less trouble with that. As soon as you bring drugs in, it's like
Right.
shit hits the fan. You
Yes,
know?
and it did.
Yeah.
And it definitely did. I think that would have been more like Gotti's era,
Yeah.
where there were drugs involved.
Yeah,
But
'cause he
the
just didn't give
old
a shit.
school, they worried about their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't. Drugs were the least of their, thought process, I guess.
How many of those like the old school guys like actually stayed true to like keeping silence and stuff like that when everything hit the fan?
Renee loves to talk about rats, right?
There's probably more rats than there are men that stood up. I could tell you Tommy Karate stood up. I could tell you Fabrizio stood up. I could tell you... Wow, I'd actually have to make a list for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because I can't name them all.
Yeah.
Then I have to look, did you proffer? Did you do this? Did you get off easy? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I know my father didn't.
Yeah. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. So when you were 13, right, started doing the drugs, found the addiction in men, and that, what do you, now looking back at it, do you kind of, have you figured out where that hole inside you came from, and like the searching for, because I relate a lot to that. My first addiction was boys, and like that, like needing love, and I think it's because I didn't really feel, I didn't get like a lot of affection and love at home. And I know that you are very close with your father and you had this relationship, but have you ever like considered where those feelings come from of seeking other things out?
I think it began with my father.
Yeah.
And then it escalated into, I want more, I want this, I want that.
More.
It had nothing to do with the drug. It had to do with pocketbooks. I wanted everything I could touch and put my hands on. And it still didn't give me the satisfaction of a line of cocaine if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that made you numb.
Yeah.
And you couldn't feel, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional. You couldn't feel the pain.
Right.
You couldn't feel pain. And I think not to feel pain is so much more gratitude, because you don't have to deal with what happens after the pain. You're empty again. So I think for me, pain was a really big part of mine. And if I could convince myself pain was more conducive for me, that's where the negative girl came in.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the negative girl. Oh, I'm negative. Don't play with me. I'm negative. Yeah.
Okay, so then from what was your most recent like DOC, or what was your choice of
DOC. I thought it meant doctor.
who's your doc?
Cocaine and Xanax.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the cocaine kind of just was throughout.
Yes.
Like from that age all the way, it was basically like a consistent.
Correct. And Xanax started after I was sexually assaulted a few times. And it was just like, ooh.
Yeah, to get rid of all that more pain, like you
Yeah.
said.
I can't feel. What? Who?
What age was that?
Started very young. My ex-husband's responsible through my marriage, after my marriage. And I just wanted to die. But not die,
Yeah.
because then I can't go to heaven.
Right.
Yeah, but you wanted to die while you were alive.
Yeah, I just wanted someone to like pick pins, like, and just see if there was blood there, because it felt so empty.
Right.
Oh, I'm very emotional.
That's
Holy
okay.
shit.
You got a lot of shit that needs to come out, Renee.
Yeah, I
you know?
It's beautiful.
You've clearly had a lot. Yeah, it is beautiful. Like, this is part of recovery, is that we get to heal through these things and we get to feel those emotions. Like you were just talking about how we numb ourselves for so long. And it's like bliss when we can do that, because I believe that addicts feel a lot deeper than regular people. That's just my personal belief. And the fact that you're able to feel these things today and like navigate through them without having to get high, and it will ultimately give you these tools, and you'll realize that you can get through these things. I think that's a really beautiful thing, you know? So let it out, girl.
Yeah, I gotta go stick my head in cold water after this.
We have a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it
a literal
helps.
cold plunge.
It
yeah.
helps.
It does.
Shout out to Oasis.
Yeah.
So were you in active addiction the whole time you were on the show?
No.
No.
I would have 6 months on, 6 months off, 3 months on, 9 months on,
Is that like going to rehab?
10 months off.
Or would you just stop?
No, I'd go to rehab. I went to
Okay.
rehab 3 times on treatment, but I would easily get 3-4 months. And then a bird would say, "Hey, Renee." And then I'd be sober for 3 more months. And then 5 birds would say. And it just, I had 10 months. And I was like, I have 10 months. What would it take for a party? Really?
Yeah.
That's how our brains work, you know?
What a warped brain.
Were you going to meetings or doing anything in that time?
I
or
don't
you would
really
just
care for meetings.
Yeah.
I go here and there.
But any like therapy, any kind of healing
Therapy.
stuff?
I go to
Okay.
therapy.
Okay.
My therapist thinks I'm touched. One of my therapists asked me to leave, felt threat for her life. I was like, you're really going to fucking feel a threat for your life when I leave here. My father. It's just always So it's always disappointing to me that someone will always have something to say about it. And I don't expect everyone to understand it because we're all different. But my father didn't say, hey, Renee, this is yours. Make something of it. He did say, hey, this is yours. Make something really good out of it. So he didn't mean bad.
Your dad was still alive when you were on the show, right? What did he think of the show?
Well, I was told he never saw it. And then I'll never forget it. I was walking through MCC and it used to be TG's daughter. So when I was walking out, they were like, oh, that's Renee's father. That's Renee's father. And he gave a smirk. And I knew deep down inside, he realized, wow, look at my daughter, the one that doesn't know how to fight, And he never watched it, though. Never watched it. And then when he came home, he heard, about my ex-husband raising his hands, which was a whole other animal. And then he shortly went into dementia after that. Mm-hmm.
And that was the show. That show was called Mob Wives. And then you were also on Big Brother?
Yes.
What was that experience? Which one came first?
Mob Wives came first. Then came Celebrity. No. A WeTV show. Guess who? Look who I'm married to. Then Celebrity Big Brother, and then another WeTV show.
Wait, guess who I met? Were you on there with Junior? Guess what? Was it you guys both went on there together?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, Joey Gambino came on with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I almost killed him too. It was good. It was very active. It was learning. I got to learn about myself still. Triggers, that I'm spoiled. I want things my way. And it's going to take a really hard time for me to meet someone. Yeah. And that's okay. Because I have 4 grandchildren. So no one is allowed around the four kids for right now. So I'm okay.
Plus, you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
That's number
I'm
one.
okay.
Yeah. That's number one.
You've almost got a year sober. That's all that matters. That's amazing.
Is it the most amount of time?
I actually try not to focus
on the time.
Yeah.
Because I have little evil people around me. But I'm just going to stick my face in the cake for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Every year.
This is the most amount of time you've had?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Only ever got 3, 4, 6 months.
Yep. That's been my past. This one has to be done. Has to be done. I'm going to lose my grandchildren.
Right. That's a big motivator.
Okay, so speaking of your grandchildren, AJ, that's your old one son you have,
Yes.
right? Okay, AJ, I'm sure he's probably seen a lot throughout his life, right? And especially regarding your addiction. Is there a point where you can pinpoint thinking okay, something needs to change? Is there a specific moment or time where you felt like that, or was there numerous times?
I think my car accident in 2022, when the cop turned the car over and he goes, your mom said she has to go home. And he goes, my mom just got into a car accident. He's like, take her to the hospital. So my son was like, Mom, you're not okay. You're getting arrested. I'm like, you have to come with me.
Did you get a DUI?
You have to come with me. They dropped everything.
Okay.
They dropped everything. But it was that I was intubated. So it was that right there for me with my son, because there's also my son could be in the same situation. I got very, very lucky, very lucky. And watching my grandchildren cry, that just makes me a shitty mom. And that I'm not. So it's time to grow up. That's it. Grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for you? Like what really truly motivated you to get sober?
My OD on September 18th last year. November 2nd, I just made a decision. I was tired.
And what you OD'd on Xanax?
Fentanyl. Somebody gave me fentanyl.
Like in the Xanax?
Can you walk us through
Somebody-
what that day looked like for
Yeah.
you?
It was a bag of cocaine, and someone gave it fentanyl. It was a bag of fentanyl.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
wow.
it looks almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Was it a mistake, or do you know?
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like right out of Pulp Fiction.
I feel
Because
like that's a normal
fentanyl
thing these
looks the
days, though.
same.
You can't trust anything. You
Four
cannot
broken
trust.
ribs, double for sternum.
Did you
From
fall?
the compressions?
I have no idea. I was just in a fancy restaurant.
Wow.
Oh no!
I'd imagine they were doing CPR.
CPR.
Right.
I was in 2 days. I was in intubated for 2 days.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Really lucky. Lucky you were in a restaurant
Yep.
with all the people around. Incredible.
That's a lot. Yeah, and God forbid you were by yourself that day. I think that people that go through things like there's a reason why you're still here. And I think that the stuff you're doing, and I've seen you, I mean, you popped up on my page and I was like, oh my God, that's Renee from Mob Wives. And then I saw that you were talking about getting sober. I don't even remember where it was. And I was like, oh my God, you know, you speaking about these things and your journey and your story is going to help so many people. And even though life can be shitty sometimes, everything happens for a reason, you know?
I just want to give back to someone what they gave me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That beam of light that I received, someone else has to receive it.
Right. So what did it look like after that OD and you're in the hospital, you've been intubated? Then what happened?
Oh, I went right back into a bitch. Yep.
Yeah.
No, actually, I had to learn how to walk 9 days.
God.
I had a lot of problems sleeping more than normal. My back. No one comes around me now. So I'm very cut off. Very, very cut off.
Oh, from all
Yeah.
the people that were
Yeah, because I
supplied.
know there were pictures taken. I know that there were things done so someone else could get ahead. And at this stage of the game,
What do you mean by that?
I mean, someone has a picture of me intubated.
Oh, like that worked at that was working there.
A friend.
Yeah.
And I look at it, first of all, let it out. That's how I feel. But for me right now, I think I've caused my mother enough damage. I don't think she needs to see anything else. And I think I need to walk the right way and live in the light.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you didn't get sober right after that. You kind of kept going for another month or two?
No, it was October 21st, November 2nd.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up. And what did that day look like?
It's my ex-husband's birthday, so it's the best time to celebrate. Yes. It looks like just a day to be reborn. That's it.
Yeah. And so that day you woke up and said, all right, it's it.
This is it. I don't know what this is, but
Yeah.
slow and steady.
And then you went to rehab that time, or
Yes.
okay.
Then I went away. I went to Lamar Odom has a place in California. I went there, Vanity Wellness. I went there for a few months. And then after that, I decided this is something that I have to do on my own. Like, nobody hold my hand and all of that. I have to do this. If I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to make it. And if I'm not, I'm going to keep pushing.
It's worked so far.
Yeah.
So far. I avoid a lot of people.
I was just about to. What do you think the biggest challenge that you deal with is now in this last year of sobriety, like keeping
My
it
sister
together?
Lana.
Yeah.
Older, younger?
This is the one that
Older.
tried to hang you.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to get into that story at
I know.
Yes.
point in time too.
Yeah, we got to circle back on some things.
Yeah.
I avoid her at all cost.
It's a major trigger for you.
Trigger.
She's an active addiction?
They all party, but they don't.
Not like you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Do they see the value in you being sober, or are they kind of like, why can't you just party?
They see it and then they go, why couldn't you do this all along? So it's, they're rough.
Yeah.
They're rough.
Yeah.
That was so weak. That was so weak. You were so weak.
Got it.
And I look at her and I'm like,
Where do you think that mentality comes from? Just the way you guys grew up?
I was
and
gonna. Yeah.
the way
the
we
world
grew up.
that you grew up in?
Yeah, the thing is, weak, when a person can hold on for dear life, they're not weak. They're strong.
Right.
Right.
So,
And that's the mentality of which you guys grew up in,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you think that mentality that you grew up with had made it hard for you to really get sober because you internalize like it's like weak? Why can't I just do this?
I should have been scared a little more. And I would think that lifestyle would have kept me sober. But I just wanted to be the outlaw.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed just being a little naughty and like doing.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't, right?
Absolutely.
And your sisters are the same way though. They just don't have the addiction piece.
No, one went to the feds. The other one was in trouble. So we all are my father's daughters. Absolutely. I just got the drug.
Yeah.
Handle of it. Yeah.
That's an interesting.
All different perspectives of it.
And it's also like I feel like a really interesting, combination of things, right? Where you've got this mentality of don't be weak, hang on, I want to be like everybody else, which is kind of walking the line, right? And living in sort of that dangerous area but for you, when you start, you can't stop.
Right.
And where your sisters, they got in trouble, but when it came to drugs, they could party and then put it down.
Correct.
And you just have that piece in you that when you pick it up, kind of like the three of us.
It's
can't put it
whatever
down.
I pick up.
Yeah.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
I'm like that too. I can get addicted. I can be that way with anything, food, stuff, material. Like anything. My brain works that way.
Right.
It's like that
too.
obsessive compulsive need, and this is going to make me
OCD,
feel better.
Organized crime disorder.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I suffer from.
Renee, you're funny. I
It's
have to
the
say that.
truth.
Renee, fucking, she's made crack some jokes already. We won about the cheese before in a ride.
The way I got a question about like the way you grew up. Was it really big on like staying silent and like not talking about things and like obviously like not narking, not being a snitch, not being a rat,
keeping it in the family.
keeping everything super low.
The way every household should be to
Right.
this day.
Right. And then when you went on like a show like Mob Wives, was that like a hard thing to get around? How did you get around that? And how does that all that's interesting to me. It almost seems like two different ideas, right?
Well, we weren't saying anything that wasn't in public knowledge.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where we got away with it. I screwed up a couple times.
I would
but-
imagine, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I ate it.
Yeah.
Made for better television.
Yeah. And when you say ate it, like what? You got like
I called my father a boss. I wasn't supposed to.
oh, okay, things like that.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But aside from that, we followed the rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
It's
did a lot of fighting and drama with the girls. Do you still talk to the girls?
No.
No? None of them?
No.
Oh.
So the other
I see that everyone but Drita.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, so like on Mob Wives, you guys are kind of from different families. Is there like family beef? I didn't watch Mob Wives, so I don't know. But is there like family beef that comes with that?
Well, we each came from a different facet, but not one of us were at war with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was a guy thing. So we were all friendly that way.
Okay, but the guys could be warring.
Yes.
But the wives could be cool.
Yes.
That's a fascinating thing.
That's interesting.
Right? Like that is such an interesting. You guys could be totally cool, but you guys were also kind of out of that, so you wouldn't know anyways.
Right.
Because the guys will war, and you guys are kind of like don't need to know.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely.
Fascinating. How did that show come together?
My sister Jennifer created it. She's
really?
Jennifer, the younger sister?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was working for Sony Music. And her partner, they were always coming up with all of these ideas. So one day she's watching The Real Housewives and she's thinking of her lifestyle. She's like, wait a second.
Light bulb.
This is so much better.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
And she put it together, and then we walked in with Harvey Weinstein, and they signed us.
What was Harvey like?
He wears cotton socks for his diabetes. I know that. I would always check. He wouldn't want someone like me.
Yeah, if I get it, but what I'm saying is just what was his affect like? What was that dude like? It's interesting. I haven't talked to somebody that's been in his office.
We're just nosy and trying to get the inside scoop.
Hi. Keeps it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, shut the door.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And so when the show was first starting, then all the like you guys all got together and like hung out first, and then it went on, or like what was that whole thing, that whole process like getting started?
Oh, no. We've all got together and killed each other.
Yeah.
There was never like any girls' days, nothing like that. There was always a problem.
Yeah.
And why? Why was there always a problem?
Because they all lie.
They all lie.
Everybody's afraid to tell the damn truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
And why do you think that? Do you think it's because of the culture that you guys have all grown up in or a part of, or?
Because their truths will get them in trouble.
How many of the wives didn't come from like that, the same upbringing as you? Were there any people that were like kind of like outsiders?
So Ramona, Roxanne, her sister, Karen, myself, Jennifer, Alicia, Carla. They're all family.
Yeah.
No. Oh, and Big Ange. Of course, Big Ange.
Oh, R.I.P.
Who else was there? Not Love. Not Natalie. Not Marissa. And not...
Drita.
Yeah. So like 6 and 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you guys look at each other differently because of that?
They are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Definitely.
And there's kind of like a hierarchy, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And like you're the top. I was gonna say you're kind of the royalty, right?
I'm the oldest. My father put the most time in. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top of the line.
You got the resume that proves it. You're like,
There
listen,
you go.
it stands on its own 2 feet.
I feel like your family cooks some crazy Italian food as well, huh?
You wrote a cookbook,
Wait,
right?
wait. It's called
Renee has a cookbook.
How to use a meat cleaver.
Correct.
Oh,
That's so dope.
I was looking into
I
it.
love that.
Secrets of a mob family.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
And then I wrote an erotic novel,
Really?
Playing with Fire, and a children's book, Grandma and Me on the Lamb.
Oh.
So the Italian food is just everything across the board. And it's a really good book. It's a really, really good book. And then Playing with Fire is about somebody trying to kill the mob's daughter that works in the garment industry, which is not so far-fetched. Go read it. Go read it. 2 great books.
Wow.
2 great books.
What inspired you to do the cookbook? Has cooking
Money.
always been a? Oh, right. I love it.
My
I
oldest
love
sister
it.
is really the chef.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, "Where's my check?" Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys write it all together?
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Okay. So
All
it's like
three
a
sisters?
so
Yes.
Okay. So
Okay,
you guys came together.
kind of fight, but also come
Love-hate
together.
relationship.
When
Like
you
family
see,
over everything.
When you see the book, I'm dumping like the pasta on her, I'm choking her.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
and that wasn't just made up. That's
no,
like how you
not
live.
at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Realistic.
Yes.
Wow.
You've also worked with like 50 Cent and stuff like that. So I want to know where you worked in the entertainment industry for a while, right?
So I worked for Tiffany Hasborn. And
Okay.
She was 50 stylist. So she put me on to them. And that was like my first big gig. It was amazing. I traveled all over with them. It was
What did
And
you
that
do?
was before the show or after the show?
It
before
was first thing.
when he first came out.
Okay.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Oh, no way.
Oh, I love that album.
So we really enjoyed, I really enjoyed the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And like, there's no difference, Daddy. I'd go home. It was a wonderful experience. But I did it. I'm done with it now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say the other side of the world, what do you mean?
Well, my father's side and the real side.
Yeah.
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 So
Okay.
I think I'm done with that side of it though.
Yeah.
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 I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So what were you doing when you were doing that?
So wardrobe, I would do. So if it was gangster looks, it was easy for me to go pick those outfits out.
Yeah,
We had some.
They're like, we hired a specialist. We have
Yeah.
Renee, the
Yeah, yeah. You
specialist.
want
We had some
authenticity?
great. We had great. Many Men was one of them. PIMP.
I'm gonna have to go listen to the whole album after this.
PIMP was filmed out here, wasn't it?
California. Yeah, we are in
Right down the
California.
street.
Yes, California.
It was at my friend's house.
Where else were we? 21 Questions. Oh, I can't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
We had so much fun.
I was going to say, what a fun time.
So much fun.
Because that was when he was like the hottest thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I was in high school and that was like all we listened to like every day.
I still listen to 50 Cent.
Right?
I was just
Gotta go
listening to
work out.
Wanksta in the car with
Yeah.
Johnny the other day. I'm like, what you know now? I'm like at that
Yeah.
age. I'm like, what you know about this? You know, my son. But I've heard he's also like he's a really nice person, right?
Great person.
Great person.
Great
Love
person. Met my family. Met my dad. He was on the phone with them. Met my mom, my son. Yeah. Good people.
He's killing TV right now.
Oh,
I feel like the
Yeah,
way
guys.
he's just transformed and who he's become is
He's a mogul.
He's killing
amazing.
it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's really
Good
cool.
for him.
Okay, so what is life today? An everyday, daily. What does a day in the life of Renee look like?
Okay. I wake up, check my Instagram. Dead ass.
Me too.
I play Sugar Crush for like an hour.
Is that the one where you
Oh, I love that.
Candy Crush?
Yeah.
Okay, Candy Crush.
Okay. Shower.
It's like meditation.
It is.
Avoid exercise.
That's like on the to-do list.
What
Yeah.
do
No.
yeah? What do I do? Shop a little, go get the kids from school, and spend the rest of the
What do
day
they
with
call you?
them.
Nona?
Nene.
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 Oh, I love that. That's
Yes,
cute.
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're my hope.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
that's
my
really
hope.
special.
And your whole
you.
family lives in Staten Island? The grandkids?
Brielle and in Staten Island.
Okay.
Yeah. So we keep everybody apart.
Yeah.
Safest way to do it.
Yeah.
And where are you? So you and Junior's not probably
Who?
non-existent. Can I bring him up or no?
He has blood cancer.
Oh
yeah,
my
let's bring
God.
him up.
Do you want to get into your relationship with Junior and what that looked like? I don't think they know.
Who's
It
Junior?
Junior is
looks
her
like
ex-husband.
I married. First of all, his last name is Pagan. I'm Catholic. That right there.
Mm.
I got married in the church of Our Lady of Pity. That's another one right there. He showed up in tinfoil looking for my knight in shining armor. 3. There you go. And then I found out about his girlfriend maybe 2 hours after the wedding.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you meet him?
My father.
Like one of your father's friends or someone your father
My
did business
father
with?
warned me never to go out with him.
Oh, and then you
And
took
that
that.
was-
You were like, yeah.
He should have said you should go out with him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Like the reverse psychology thing. You
Sure
know?
is. Well, at this stage of the game, I wish him whatever over there and to leave me and my child alone. We have a lot that we're still healing from.
Is AJ in touch with him these days or no? Okay, so
Not
you guys
at all.
both.
We have a lot to heal from.
Yeah, he's done a lot of
from the
damage.
abuse. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys are now at least able to kind of
Thank you.
and get
Yeah,
away
we're
from
healing.
that. Yeah.
We're doing good. New things.
Yeah. New things, new beginnings, sobriety.
Yes.
You also have your own podcast now. You want to talk about that?
the Crisis Queen podcast.
I love it.
Where I don't make light of your trauma, but I make your trauma feel lighter.
Oh, Renee, I'll
Ooh.
be your next guest, girl. Here.
I was telling him that yesterday. I was like, "Oh, you gotta have Rachel on."
I love that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's do it. It's getting a little heavy for me, so I have to switch it up a little bit because I go home like, ugh,
Yeah. When it's heavy,
the world is ending
Yeah.
now.
So you need to have a comedian like Rachel on.
to keep it light. That's what I've been through a lot of trauma as well, but I like to, that's how I built my pages, is trying to bring a lightheartedness to talking about the most awful, horrendous things that I've been through in my life.
Okay.
So it's just a little, little goofy
Yeah,
humor.
that I'm walking around the grass.
Yep.
That helps a lot.
Grounding?
For me to grounding, yeah.
Okay, so now that you're talking about grounding, let me know. So what are your your tools in life right now? So you're not drinking, you're not drugging anymore. So now you're out here grounding with your bare feet in the grass. Was there any other things?
With the shovel.
Like, do you have
A
any
lot of
advice for
prayer.
someone that's also new in recovery and maybe even like brand new or wanting to be in recovery? Do you have any advice or tools that you would suggest?
Pray.
Oh,
Write everything
That's
down.
crucial.
Yeah.
Write everything down. You are enough at least 10 times a day. What someone else thinks of you doesn't matter. And love yourself.
Do you recommend treatment for other people? Would you say that's a good place to start?
I think treatment is a good place to start. I don't know how far you can go in it without getting the outside learning.
Yeah.
But I do believe that treatment is going to line you up for what you need. Yes,
Love that.
definitely.
Love that.
What was your favorite treatment center that you went to?
Legacy.
Is that?
I love Legacy.
It's in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I've known those guys for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Great guys.
Yep, they have one in California, Ohio, New Jersey. California for me.
Yeah, you like it here.
On the cliff.
Yeah.
Just on the cliff.
In case you want to jump off real quick.
Just in case. No, I wouldn't jump. No, I'm a chicken.
No, you got to fall.
I'm a chicken. I'm a chicken.
Someone would have to push you.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken.
What has sobriety given you in your life?
Oh, wow. I could tell what time it is at the exact time. When I say I'm sorry, I mean it. Clarity. Optimism. My whole God.
Oh, I love that.
My whole God.
It's amazing.
Still working on a lot of things, but my whole God.
Did you struggle with God while you were in your active addiction and
Never.
never? Okay. So
Never.
that was always a strong point. And you grew up, I grew up Catholic as well. So is that, you go to like Catholic church now?
Yes.
Okay.
I curse him all day long.
Yeah.
We have our conversations all day
Yeah.
long. Like sometimes I'm driving, I hear off the back of my head. I'm like, I know it was you.
Yeah.
If not my father. But he's my air when I can't breathe. When like the panic attacks start setting in, it's like, I know, just come. And he'll slow it down and he'll rationalize what I'm thinking, what I shouldn't be thinking. He'll calm it down. Yeah.
You were talking about earlier how like you have a very negative mindset that can set in, especially in the past. Today in sobriety, you said you were more optimistic.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence because I don't trust everyone.
Yeah. It's so hard.
So I'm on the fence.
And your lack of trust for people, where do you think that comes from?
Well, let's see. My father was a criminal. My ex-husband was a confidential informant. A con man robbed $150,000 from me. My sister lied and robbed me. Yeah.
So most of the people that are closest to you in your life
I've done you pretty dirty.
have done things
Yep.
that would lead you to believe that you can't trust people. Has that improved at all?
I still allow the mistakes. This time I know if they're doing it on purpose, they get like a little X where I won't bother with them for a while.
Right.
It's a growing. I gotta grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what a life to go through.
Oh, yippee! Okay. No, can design. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Can you explain what Xanax addiction is like?
Without glorifying it.
No, just
No,
walk through it.
truthfully, speak very
Okay.
honest truth.
Yeah, we want authenticity.
Xanax is a piece of heaven. But when you wake up, you're in hell.
Damn, Renee. Renee's out here dropping little gems this whole time. These
Cocaine
one-liners.
is high until you fall.
Oof. Come on, Renee.
That's it.
What happens whenever you mix them?
You could be in a lot of trouble. I experienced that a couple years back. Yeah, it's called an OD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called an OD.
Did you ever get into any legal trouble besides the DUI?
I went to jail for 5 days.
Jail for 5 days.
5 days.
Oh, for what?
I had a restraining order.
Oh, and you broke it.
Yeah, because I didn't know I couldn't call my mother for my lawyer.
But relating to the drugs, you've never had you never got like a drug charge. You never. Okay.
No.
Yeah. We just did some ASMR.
I like that.
Renee and
we
Rachel's
should.
ASMR
Yeah,
page.
turn the volume
Welcome. We're starting a TikTok. We'll be on all platforms very shortly. You could do
What we call title it mob ASMR.
yeah.
Whispering, just like getting in trouble things.
Those bastards.
Whispering secrets about the mob.
We should do a whole episode like this.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
I love ASMR.
Wait, Hunter, ask your question that you always ask.
Oh yeah.
Are you happy today?
I'm a 70.
70%.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty good. What do you think it's
I
going
was
to take?
like a 35 this morning.
Okay.
So I think I need a little bit rest. Just, I didn't realize I could be calm and not like if my family, why are you so calm? Why are you so calm? Why are you so calm? Just like,
At peace.
yeah, like I could breathe. Yeah.
What brings you the most happiness today?
Money.
Love
Truthful
that.
queen. Honest queen.
What would bring me the most happiness? My 4 grandchildren graduating from school.
How old are they?
8, 4, 19 months.
Oh, what a great age.
Twins. She
Twins.
was telling me twins.
Yeah, with cars and what else do they need? just healthy 4 children.
Yeah.
That's it.
Love that.
And you have one son,
Yes.
and they're all his kids.
Yep.
That's so cool. That's great.
Very happy.
Should I ask Renee the duck and
Yeah,
First
for
question?
sure.
Okay, Renee, this is a off the wall kind of unhinged question, but if you had to choose, would you rather fight 1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Think about it. There's no right answers.
100 ducks.
100 ducks.
That's what you picked, right?
I picked the one big duck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Do you
what
guys have
what are
any?
you doing next?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going in
Where's
life?
Renee
Like, what are your
going?
plans?
Oh, photo shoot.
Okay.
Vegas. Close a deal.
A deal doing what? Like, that's what I'm
Like
wondering.
a Tony and Tina's wedding, mob style.
Mm.
And Boston and back on my podcast circle.
Yeah. So is that's something you film pretty regularly at home or
What,
back
podcast?
home? Yeah, the pod. Do you film that in Staten Island?
I don't love it.
You don't love it?
I don't love it.
Well, you know what? The amazing thing about being sober is you get to figure out what you love. I feel like that's also so much a part of it. When we're using, we don't know. When I got sober, I had no idea what I liked to do. I didn't know what I was passionate about. I was passionate about getting high. That was about it, right? And like not feeling. And now you are sober and you have these opportunities to figure out what you are passionate about and what brings you love and light and sets your soul on fire, you know?
I think too much trauma is going to make me ill.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not close to what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not close to the middle of the table. I'm still over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
It takes
Yeah.
time.
You're
You
just
gotta
getting started.
Yeah, you're just getting started. You got to give yourself some grace,
Yeah.
you know?
That and a rope. To either drop them or pull me.
Yeah.
I think you should make a book with all these one-liners. You just start
I am
have
working-
someone following you
I
around
am
and write
working
down
on
all
it.
of these amazing one-liners you guys got.
Cool.
Good?
I think
Yeah,
we're
I
good.
think-
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
it's
being
great.
here, Renee.
You.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
Yeah.